Good morning, everybody. My name is Lori. Today I'm going to be talking about my September budget and a little something else. My identity was stolen, and this is the first time that it has happened to me, and so I'm going to talk about that for a minute. Alright, so we're going to talk about the September 2025 budget. My budget for this month is $7,552.86. This is money from my employer and a little bit of help from my son. So first of all, I just want to express appreciation to my employer as well as my son. I have a pretty good job. I've been employed with my current employer for 20 years, and I hope to retire from there. And it's actually a very good place to work, and I just feel like it's worth mentioning. Okay, so for regular expenses, we have for TV and internet, it's $82.82. It usually ranges from $82.82 to $82.84, so I never know exactly what it's going to be. My water bill, I'm budgeting $124. So far this month, I have not, for August, I have not had to water my grass, but we still have a couple weeks left in the month, so it could still happen. So I'm just going to plan for it. Okay, for my electric bill, I am planning on $150. It was $136, I think, for August. I haven't closed out August yet, since we still have a couple weeks left. And so I went ahead and budgeted $150 this time. All right, for natural gas, $11. A note about a natural gas bill. I actually want to plan for January. Usually the bill in January and February are the highest bills. And so as a part of my annual expenses, I want to start planning for that and setting an extra back every month to cover that. Last year in January, the last winter, my highest bill was $271, and I expect to be the same this year. So I'm going to include that in my annual expenses. Okay, so for my cell phone, got $31.27. And that's usually what it is, so I feel comfortable with that. For landscaping, $74.99. For household, shopping, food, personal care type items, I'm budgeting $300. For auto expenses, I've started doing a monthly deposit onto my Venmo card for automobile expenses, so that's $100. For my HVAC, monthly HVAC membership is $21.44. And so for my total regular expenses, $895.52. Okay, for my savings, I'm planning on saving $198 for annual expenses, essentially. For my vacation, going to go see my mom, I'm planning $50. I feel like mentioning that there's mention in family chats about having like a family reunion type vacation next year sometime. I've already put it out there that I just really don't have money for that. But maybe if it's next year, if it's a year from now, maybe I can kind of plan to save like $100 a month or something for it. I don't know. It may not even actually happen. They just started talking about it, so we'll see. So for my extra debt payment, I'm planning into my extra debt savings account, I'm planning $100. My emergency fund, I'm planning $60. My extra escrow, I'm planning $235 for a total savings of $643. All right, for debt payments, I'm planning to send $2,165 to my mortgage. My 401k loan is $375.92. My car payment is, I'm planning $485.46. For my first home improvement loan, I am planning $347.46. For my second home improvement loan, I'm planning $373.53. For my Fidelity credit card, which is my debt consolidation credit card, 0% financing for that, I'm planning $1,670. For my, well, I don't owe anything on my Chase card, so nothing there. And I have $0 for extra savings or escrow or anything. So all of the money has been budgeted basically. So that's a total of $5,417.40 for debt. So in September, I have my car insurance due, and I have this money saved up in my savings account, so I don't have to use my regular income to pay for it. It's $466.94 is what it was in March, so I'm hoping that it's the same or even less. That would be great. And for nothing for emergencies, of course. Let's see. For extra things, I'm planning $100 for my allowance, and nothing for donations this month. So my total for extra things is $100. So once again, my total expenses for September, $7,522.86. All right, and here's my breakdown. So for regular expenses, it's about 12%. My savings is 9%. My debt payment's 72%. Infrequent expenses, which is my car insurance, I'm planning 6%. Nothing for emergencies, and 1% for my extra things. And once again, total of $75,22.86. And here's my pie chart. That great big green part right there is debt. Okay, so that's my September budget. I got whoops. I'm gonna pause that right there. And I just want to talk real briefly about something that happened today. In the morning when I checked my email, I saw I got a fraud alert from Experian, and I think that's very interesting because I just had checked my credit report. And so I just find that just very interesting. I just went through all of that looking at my credit report, and there was a fraud alert today. And so somebody had used my social security number to try to open up a Capital One account, or credit card, I guess. And so what I did was, after like being surprised, I called Experian, and I went onto the website, and it said there was a link, or you could click here for disputing, for doing a dispute. And so I clicked on that, and they said in the message that came up, it said to call the creditor. So I called Capital One, and the worst part was I saw this at about 5:15 in the morning, and they don't open till 8 Central Time. So I had to wait like 4 hours before I could call. And so finally got through to somebody, and they were wonderful. Explained the situation to them, and at first they didn't see it on their end. At Capital One, they did not immediately see what I was talking about. But before the end of the conversation, they could see it. They could see that somebody had applied for credit using my social security number. And so I gave them all of my information, my name, address, phone number, birth date, all that stuff. And of course, when I gave them that information, they told me it did not match the information that was on the application. But just very briefly, they did not go into a lot of detail about it, but they told me that they had actually denied it. Somebody put in this application, but it was denied. They said because the number of the information did not match up with what was on my credit report. And I thought that was great, right? And so they put it down as a fraud alert, and they told me that they would notify the credit reporting agencies that it was fraud, and the hard inquiry should be or would be removed from my credit report, but it could take up to 90 days to happen. But they would tell them right away. So there would be a message or something on my credit report. And they also told me to call the credit agencies myself to let them know that I had talked to them, and also that they were going to send the information to them. They told me to make a police report, to file a police report, which I was really kind of surprised about. I didn't know that. But they would say, I didn't know, right? Because I've never been through this before. So I said, great, I'll do that for sure. And they told me they were going to send me documentation in the mail saying about this whole thing that happened. So it was really very easy process. That doesn't mean it didn't take any time. Everything I've had to do today did take up some time, of course. So when I was actually out doing my morning walk, trying to stay busy before I could make my phone call, trying to stay occupied because I couldn't call for hours, right? So I just was out walking when I finally was able to call them. And so as soon as I got home, I called Experian back to tell them everything that Capital One had told me. And so they put it down in their records about the fraud, and they froze my credit, or locked it. And I already got the notification that the hard inquiry had been made, but they did something different. They put me down for the fraud alert program, I guess. It didn't cost me anything. They didn't charge me anything. They didn't ask me for a credit card number, for example, to do it. They just told me that if anybody makes any more inquiries, what that means is they would notify, and it would have to be, okay, let me slow down a little bit here. They told me that if my existing creditors ran a credit check on me, there would be no flags. It would not come up as a fraud alert. But if a new creditor attempted to, run my credit report, they would be notified that there's a fraud alert on my account. And so if one person has tried to gain credit using my social security number, then there might be other people out there. So clearly my number's gotten out there somehow, and other people probably have it, right? So if anybody else tries to create a new line of credit, it will come up as a fraud alert. And what they're supposed to do is call me. They're supposed to call me, like if Capital One gets a new application, they're supposed to call me. That's what the fraud alert basically means. So I think that's great. So I called TransUnion also, but it was all automated. I didn't get to talk to a person, but they said through the robo voice that a fraud alert was put on my credit report. And then the same thing with Equifax. It was automated. So I guess of the three, I'm really glad I actually got to talk to a human for the Experian. And TransUnion, actually, the robo voice said that you only actually need to call one of the three. When you call one, all the other two get notified. So, but that's fine. I still called all three. So then I went online to find out how to file a police report for identity theft. And so the direction said first thing I had to do was go to identitytheft.gov to create a report, and they give you a reference number. So I did that. And then I called the police department, and they actually sent somebody to my house to actually fill a report. I was really surprised. I figured they'd tell me to fill it out online or do it over the phone, but somebody actually came to my house. It was, talk about customer service, right? And they came within probably, I don't know what, 20 minutes or something. And a nice young man took all the information, and so he said the actual, like, he gave me the number for the police report, and he said in about next week sometime, probably Wednesday, I could actually get a copy of it, and I could either have them email it to me, or I could just go to the police station to get a copy of it. And so when I do get a copy of that, I have to go back to the Experian website and upload a copy of the report. And I got an email link from Experian with the process for uploading the police report. And so before the nice young policeman left, he said that he asked me if I'd gotten like a reference number or anything from Capital One. And I didn't. I did not get the number, but they are going to send me the letter in the mail saying that this report had been filed. So he said as soon as I get that letter, and of course, who knows how long that's going to take. It could be a week, you know. But as soon as I get it, whenever I get it, to email it to him, and then of course he would add it to the police report as well. So I'm really thankful, very grateful that I got the notification that there was a hard inquiry, that I was able to quickly get a hold, well, you know what I mean by quickly. I was able to call Capital One and got that nipped in the bud. And they'd actually told me during that conversation that the information that I gave them did not match the information on the application. And so they had already denied it, but they put it down as a fraud alert. And I called all of the credit reporting agencies, so everybody knows it's a fraud alert. My credit report has been frozen. And so I don't know that things could have gone better under circumstances. I'm really, really glad that I was diligent about checking my email. I was really glad that I had set up the notification through Experian that whenever a new new inquiry was made, that they would notify me. I mean, I just, you hear about these things and like this is how it's supposed to be done, but you don't ever really know for sure if it's going to work. And so I was really happy about that. And see if there's anything. I think that was basically it. So now I'm just waiting for the documentation from Capital One so I can go upload that information, send that information to the police department, and I got to get my police report next week. So anyway, I know I'm repeating myself. I'm just like, no new lines of credit, thank God, were opened on my credit report. So thank God for that. It was stopped before actual accounts could be opened. Oh, anyway. Okay. So, let's see here. One thing I wanted to talk about a little bit is, I know August isn't over with yet, and I haven't done my closeout yet. But I was very, very fortunate in August that I got a little bit extra money that I didn't know was coming my way. And one was a refund from when I refinanced my car. I had gotten a check for the gap insurance, and so I was able to take that money and put it directly towards my escrow. And then I got a bonus from my employer, and that was totally unexpected. I'm very grateful for that. It was only $500, but I don't want to say only, because that's still a lot of money when you're in debt and living the lifestyle I'm living, just trying to get the debt paid off, my debt payoff era, as they say. So I took that $250 after taxes and everything and put it also in my escrow. Put it in my mortgage checking account to pay for my escrow and my HOA dues. And I wasn't expecting that on August 1st. I totally was not expecting that. Right when I made my budget for August, I did not expect that. And so because of it, I'm way, way ahead now on getting ready to pay those bills. And it's really motivated me a lot to do it again. You know what I mean? I was just so lucky and so successful for that. I want to do it again. And the thing that comes to my mind is for January. In January, I have about $820 of annual expenses. I have my tax prep. My Nest camera is due my subscription to the debt payoff planner is due, and in January and February my natural gas bill was pretty high. Last year it was $271 in, I think, January, and I think it was $281 in February, or maybe vice versa. But anyway, I kind of want to save up that money a little bit too. So that's $820. And so I'm excited to keep on saving money for these annual expenses. I know that's several months away, but it'll be here before you know it. But it was real rewarding and real nice to be really focused and targeted on one annual expense, to try to meet that goal. And I know that the only reason why I was successful is because I got an extra $1,000, and that is totally unusual. And so, because of that, I am able to reach that goal quicker, and I can focus on the next goal sooner also. I just wanted to mention that. And during August, I kind of took I don't want to say I took a break, but I focused on savings, so I put less money towards debt. But in September, going forward, of course, I want to get back towards paying the full $3,600 towards debt. And so I'm gonna do that. Also, I just wanted to mention that. And I guess those are the only things on my list, on my agenda, on my items to talk about today. I guess that's it. I appreciate everybody hanging out with me and listening to me and encouraging me as I go through this debt payoff journey. I have been doing YouTube videos since January, and I think that I have made significant progress. When I do my debt payoff update, I'm going to talk about where I was 1 year ago and the amount of debt I've paid off since August of last year. And so even though for this YouTube channel, my debt confession was, I think, in December, maybe it was January, I don't remember the exact date. So that was less than a year ago, but I've been working on this since October of 2023. So it's been almost 2 years since I really started this. The first year I didn't make very much gain, but I have in the past 8 months, I've made quite a bit of progress. And really, I have everybody here who supports me and encouraging me and giving me advice. I'm very grateful for that. And I don't know that I would have been able to maintain the progress that I've made, the payments I've been making every month. I don't know that I could have kept doing it with as much enthusiasm, if you know what I mean, if it wasn't for the people who watch my videos and comment and let me know some what they do and what they think I should be doing, or maybe I should consider doing. All right, so I guess that's it. Thank you very much. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.